Hello and welcome back to the And Both podcast. My guest this week is Amanda Timonere. She's a licensed mental health counselor, the founder of Zenful Mamas, and a mom of two boys, ages 4 and 2. She spent a decade as chief clinical officer of a multi-state mental health and substance use treatment center before leaving to build something that's closer to the work she actually wanted to do, supporting mothers through the identity shift of becoming a parent. Her practice centers on matrescence, the neurological and psychological transformation that happens when we become mothers, and on helping women understand that what they're experiencing isn't weakness, it's biology, it's lineage, and it's something most of them have never been given the language for. In this conversation, we talk about what matrescence actually is and why so few people have heard of it. We talk about the blueprint for motherhood that we walk in with, shaped by generations we don't even think about, and what it takes to decide which parts of that you want to keep. The difference between therapy and coaching, why preventative care is the best care, and what Amanda hopes to build when Zenful Mamas grows up. We also talk about pasta, a lot of pasta. Here's Amanda. Welcome to And Both, a podcast about what it really looks like to put yourself on the list while raising kids and doing all the other things life asks of you. I'm your host, Ashley Blackington, and on this show, you'll hear conversations with moms who are figuring it out in their own ways, plus a few solo episodes from me from time to time. It's not about having all the answers, it's about sharing stories, learning from each other, and knowing we don't have to choose between either or when we're living in the middle of And Both. Let's get into today's episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of the And Both podcast. My guest today is Amanda Timonere. Welcome, Amanda.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Before we jump in, how about if you let people know what you'd like them to know about you, and then we'll kick it off from there.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm Amanda Timonere. I am the founder of Zenful Mamas. I am a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida, Idaho, and Connecticut. And I work with pregnant mamas. I work with moms-to-be and postpartum. The majority of my practice is that, and I'm really focusing on the identity shift that takes place when we have kids.
I mean, all of that is magical. I got stuck in the first part of like Idaho and Connecticut and Florida. How did you draw that knot loop?
Well, I'm from Connecticut.
Okay.
So I figured I'll get licensed in the state that I originally came from. And then Idaho was a mistake. To be honest, it just happened. There's no connection to me in Idaho whatsoever.
That's awesome. Please tell me it's like 80% of your business comes from Idaho.
It's actually not. Connecticut and Florida are the biggest. That would be good, but no.
Mm-hmm. That always cracks me up is like the things where you're like, I checked the wrong box because I was doing this form at like 11 o'clock at night or, whatever. Is like, oh, that's where all the people are. Shoot.
Yeah, and that's exactly how that happened. I wanted to be licensed in different states, and I was just looking at different states' requirements, and I landed on Idaho, and I was like, oh, this seems like an easy one. Let me just get this done. And that's how it happened.
We have, so I'm an OT by training, and that's where my license is. And I live where I'm licensed in the states around and in New Hampshire, where I'm from. Mm-hmm. One of them has no requirements for continuing ed, nothing. It's like, send us a check and then it's fine. Another one is like, send us a check and then a copy of something. And another one is like, we need to know exactly where you've been every minute of the year for the last like blah, blah, blah. Or you won't get your license and we're not going to tell you, but you just have to do it right the first time. It's like, it's bananas.
I know. That's Texas for me, still dealing with that. So I get it.
Yeah, like that climbing up the sand pile.
Mm-hmm. It's annoying, but.
So how did you get started in what you're doing now? Because this wasn't where you started.
No, it's not where I started. This is a fairly new journey for me. It's the baby. I would say about 6 months old. I've had my private practice 2018. So seeing clients, having a private practice, that's not new to me. The population is new to me and my journey. So I had the private practice and I'm the former chief clinical officer of a multi-state treatment center, mental health and substance use. And that journey ended for me August 2025. And becoming a mom, definitely, I had a lot of questions after I have 2 kids. I have 2 sons. And having my first one definitely had me questioning a lot of my career paths, worked so hard to be on the C-suite, be a female, be a strong female, really wore that like a badge of honor. And having kids really started, I had some questions about, hey, do I really want to do this forever? Can I do this forever? Am I willing to sacrifice time with my kids? It's not a matter of me not being able to do the job. It was me missing time with my kids. So when that came to an end, I was in that agency and this private treatment center for 10 years. So it was dear and near to my heart. So when that came to an end, I really started embarking on, okay, what do I want to do? What does Amanda want to do? Because I am at a point in my life, 2 kids, I'm not getting any younger, and I want to do something that I love and that fills my cup with joy and, giving back. So I my population, like my clients ended up being moms. It kind of happened by accident again. Moms started gravitating towards me, seeking me for therapy. And I was like, wait, this is something.
Mm-hmm.
And I really had a passion for it, really lit up when I was talking to moms. I did some workshops. So that's how I came to it. And knowing that I had my own journey with, having my first son, he's 4 years old. My second son is 2 years old, having anxiety before kids and really having that show up for me during pregnancy, during postpartum that's my journey. It got severe. It was unmanageable. It was a lot. There's a lot of noise in this head.
Yeah.
And just knowing what that feels like, and with my clinical training and my clinical background, knowing that this is an area that is not given a lot of attention, enough attention, and makes me upset, makes me sad that we don't have, these out sources for moms and easily resourceable and findable.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it upon myself to kind of just make it my mission to see moms, put myself out there, really talk about the identity shift, talk about matrescence. What is matrescence? And it's mind boggling that the women that I talk to are like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that word? And, that's part of our problem, that we don't educate, we don't talk about it. And knowing that it is a neurological change that our brain is going through is way beyond our control. It's not a matter of weak or strong. There is a neurological change in our mind that's happening, and it's so far beyond our control. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I really focus on and hone in on with our moms. So the psychoeducational piece, but also who we were and who we're becoming, and really finding that individualized story, because we can read as many books as we want, listen to as many podcasts, but nothing hits home more than our own story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think too, also there isn't great language around so much
Mm-hmm.
of what's happening, right? Because I feel like right now perimenopause is having its moment, and fortunately, this will just sort of carry back through the
Mm-hmm.
timeline of women. But I feel like people are finally collecting language. It's all coming forward, connections are being made and all that stuff around perimenopause. And at the same time, this matrescence movement where people are calling it what it is, talking about what it includes, what are some ways that you're impacted and some ways that you're not, and how it's different for everybody. It's so much of it is we don't have the language, or people don't feel comfortable using the language around that. And so if you can't ask for help, if you can't talk about what you're going through, or you can't quite put the word to it, how do you get help? So I think it's so important right now. I mean, all
Yeah.
the time, but right now, especially because
Yeah,
it's coming.
for sure. It's definitely a movement
Mm.
it's definitely up and coming for sure. I have had the privilege of working alongside some other providers who are doing similar work, a little bit different to some degree. I really focus on, yes, I'm a therapist. Yes, I do therapy, but I have an aspect of my practice that is coaching, motherhood coaching, and really helping our moms understand, again, motherhood wounds, maternal lineage, and really digging deep into our past to understand we're walking into motherhood with a blueprint that we don't even know exists.
Mhm.
And if we're not aware of that, and we don't know what our generations in the past have looked like, what society has impacted us to think motherhood should look like, what it needs to look like, and we don't truly unpack that, the symptoms are going to be a lot more in our face and unmanageable. So when we start
Mhm.
to put, again, language and words to what's happening or what can happen, and a better understanding, awareness, things start to kind of, we can sit back and say, okay, I think this is what's happening. So that's my biggest take on it again. And I think the biggest thing also that I'm seeing, women don't want to ask for help. They are, we are some stubborn people sometimes. And, I get it. Society impacts us and we have to play a role, especially entrepreneur women, females in high leadership roles. We have to figure it out. We have to white knuckle it. We have to, because if not, we're weak. We're going to seem less than. And that's the biggest thing and the biggest struggle that I'm kind of facing right now with women. Like, I'll call you when I need you. And like, that's, I get it. I'll be here, but preventative care is the best care.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think there's so much that you don't realize that feeds into where you are as an adult. And it's that idea of like, when you're a kid, it's like, well, you have to figure it out. Oh, well, if you want to, I can't wait for the day when we get out of this, like someone else's definition of what it means to be strong and tough and blah, blah, blah. It all goes by the wayside because as we're learning now and as it's being talked about now, the people that display and portray these tough qualities, quote unquote, it's actually just people without any emotional intelligence who are reacting and expounding all sorts of terrible things in the world. And then there's still a group of people, a very large group of people that take that as learning and carry the way forward. And I am so hopeful that maybe not our generation, but the generation behind us will be, I mean, they're already so much better in terms of like how they talk about their feelings, how they talk about needing help, how there's so much less shame around, I can't do this or I need to do it differently or whatever. Even when my kids were the age of your kids, it was just like, no, I actually need help with this. And you're like, oh, we're not going to 80s white knuckle this? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This could be cool. You mean you're going to ask for help and you're not going to get laughed at? Wow. All right. There's so much hope. But like you said, it's just a matter of trying to reach people that have grown up in that way. Is you need a big shovel.
Yeah. That's the best way to put it. And yeah, I do have hope for the future. I think definitely our the generation, my kids, my son, like they talk about their feelings. The 2-year-old really doesn't, but the 4-year-old, he tells me when he's frustrated. I'm like, wow, that's great. That's wonderful. There's a difference happening here. And, alongside the lack of emotional intelligence, I think it's also trauma when we are faced with individuals who have been told their whole life, or have seen their moms, play a role. My mom did it this way, so I have to do it this way. Or, one of the biggest things that comes up is we have kids and our moms or maternal figures become grandparents, and helping them understand that 2 different generations, there's such a big difference in how we bring up our kids now. And it's going to bring up stuff for the mom. It's going to bring up stuff for the grandma now, and being able to like navigate those relationships. It's definitely, having kids is like holding up a mirror to yourself. It's like everything is exposed and we're figuring it out.
How do you find people are talking about that, like just that transition itself of going from being like, I always talked about it as like the last link in the chain to realizing that there's a link behind you. So your actions impact how the link behind you moves. Like if the chain is kind of carrying along. So how does this show up for you in your practice?
So, it definitely, it's one of the key things that we talk about with, the reason I always kind of say, if you're here, you're doing something different. And being able to work on the awareness, work on what is it that you want to take with you into motherhood? What do you want to leave? We don't have to take everything that we either learned or were taught or told about motherhood, and coming to a place of acceptance and also knowing that, autonomy, like I can make these choices. This is my kid and I am going to stand strong in my beliefs and in my, how I want my family to operate and run. Like you're the CEO of that family. And definitely, the struggles with juggling that relationship with the link behind us and, worrying about having a newborn, but also worrying about not hurting our mom's feelings because they're doing something that's like not okay for this age, because that's what they used to do with us. So it's definitely a lot of talking about setting boundaries ahead of time and having compassionate conversations with grandparents or even, aunts and uncles, just people who are going to be around the kid and this is how I want these are my house rules kind of thing. And really having your negotiables, non-negotiables and being able to, kind of move with it in a way that feels, harmony, that doesn't feel like you're settling on one side or giving up what you believe in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all so messy, isn't it?
It's not easy. It's definitely not.
Mhm.
There's no book, there's no podcast that will give it to you the way that you need to hear it. I mean, you get exposed to people's stories, you get exposed to what can happen, what's possible, but it's so individual. Such an individualized journey that, and I've heard it before. And I mean, I've experienced it too. Like, damn, I thought I was so prepared for motherhood. Like, I
Mm.
thought like I had a good handle on it. Like, I read books, I did everything, by the book. I did everything right. And it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a huge change. I remember my first pediatrician appointment the a couple days after my
Hmm.
first was born, and, you go in and you haven't slept. You're like, "I don't even know what just happened. I got hit by a bus in the face and everywhere else," and, like,
Yeah.
I remember sitting there and he was like, "Now I'm sure you've read a bunch of books," and I was like, "I love that you assume that for me," but, like, I read nothing,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like I know exactly what I'm talking about. I was just like, if I read one book, I'm gonna feel like I have to read all the books, and I don't
Mm.
wanna read all the books. So I was like, if you had to only read one book, what would it be? And I don't even know if I have it. I don't have it out here, but it was like, the first 5 years, the American Academy of Pediatrics or something like that. And I was like, okay, we'll do that one. And legitimately bought it on Amazon on the way home from the appointment. And I was like, I feel like we just got judged because we didn't read all these books.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
Honestly, I wish I didn't read anything.
this was my fear is I was like, again, academic, student
Hmm.
forever, learning, yay, 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 was like, I won't be able to make a decision for
Hmm.
myself, or I don't know, power of the internet, I guess. I was like, I'll just Google it,
Yeah,
which
or
is
that.
also not what I'm gonna do.
I mean, Google was my best friend for,
God.
2 a.m., being up at 2 a.m., breastfeeding, crying
Mhm.
while the baby's crying, Googling symptoms. Is this normal that my boobs feel this way? Is this normal that, I have a lump on my boob and like it's like hurting? I mean,
Yeah.
Google was it.
I don't know what I'm more scared about. It is the Google symptoms mean like, you Google something and it's like, well, death is imminent. Like, say goodbye to your family and friends, right? And you're like, I was just talking about like a hangnail or something, something completely non
Yeah.
deadly. And now with AI, because like all of
Mm,
my kids were out of that early stage before AI. And now I'm like, is this better or worse?
mm,
I feel like a lot of times it's worse because you get the research
mhm.
light, and then it's all packaged up as like, but here's what you should do. And like there's
Yeah.
some scary stories coming out about people who
Oh, yeah.
believe that AI is your friend. They believe that AI is this guiding light for people.
Mhm,
And it's like you're in such a precarious situation physically,
mhm,
emotionally, mentally. And then if you're looking for someone to be like, it's going to be okay and let me help you. And that's,
mm,
that's the first sentence of any AI kickback is like,
yeah,
you're right. I'm like, but
mhm,
do you need to know if
yeah,
you're call a
yeah,
doctor?
or let me slow this down for you, and
Mhm.
kind of, that's definitely, I mean, AI is definitely a controversial, topic. It's definitely something that people in general are heavily relying on to get emotional support, and the reason is there's no judgment, in their mind, not sitting in front of another human being who has a pulse, they're getting feedback from a computer, they're getting feedback from an AI platform. And there's actually, I was having a conversation last week. I'm part of an advisory board for a university, and they implemented AI for it's a counseling program. And they implemented this AI that the students can now make up their ideal client and give the client challenges, give client, the obstacles that they have to deal with. And then they have to be either the supervisor if it's a PhD student or a therapist if it's a client. And they're finding that the students are being more receptive to the feedback that AI is giving them than the professors. So that's kind of like the new thing that I'm starting to hear, which I mean, I can understand, but that's scary. There's no live component to, being a therapist. It's all about building rapport, having that connection, and it's being lost in a sense. So it's definitely there has to be some checks and balances. I feel like, definitely, I mean, I use AI. I'm definitely all about AI, but as a tool. And I think that the new generation coming up with AI is not understanding that. And there's a dependency.
Yeah. Think about like when I was in grad school and, the first day of class, your professor stands up there and they basically read their CV, right? They're like,
Mm-hmm.
I went here and I did this, and this is where I did my post, blah, blah, blah. These are the research papers I do, and this is my area of interest, and blah, blah, blah. So, right? You're like, oh, they've got it going on, right? They get hired by the university or the college or whatever. They have, they're tenured, or they have a long research history, or whatever it is. You know what you're getting. You know exactly who the person is that's talking back to you. AI, it's a white screen and a please enter your question here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like, here are my qualifications to tell you. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I am the rake of the internet who just pulls out these keywords and turns them into like polished nothingness. You're
Mm-hmm.
doing a great job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely scary. So that's all I have to say about it. I feel like I've been having this AI conversation for a few months now. Just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to, I mean, I supervise students for the state. And one of the biggest things that I started to see in the last year is the struggle with giving me a simple like case conceptualization or,
Mhm.
the details of a case that like, we need to know to diagnose, to like do our thing. And it's like they're looking at me like deer in the headlights and like, wait, oh my God, wait, how do I phrase this? What do I say? And it's like, just go, like you're overthinking it. And it's this again, the dependency on AI doing the work for us and not really using it as a tool to enhance our knowledge and our skill set.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you have to write the paragraph first.
Right. Have like a write it, do the out, like do some work before you start having conversations with ChatGPT or Claude to, spit out some stuff for you.
Yeah. I have a doctoral student right now that it's like a 2-year piece. So we kind of work in sections as we go. And one of the parts that we're working on is OT in maternal mental health,
Mm-hmm.
and whether or not I'm working with another therapist who developed this tool for people to be able to, get from a provider. And it's got all the language around what are these elements around, perinatal mental health, and what are some things to look for and questions to ask and stuff like that. And it's all meant to be in lay terms. It's not meant to be clinical. So you don't get this like, do I self-diagnose? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
let's start putting, like we were talking about, let's start putting a language out there for people to be able to ask that stuff too. And that has come up in conversation is like, will people just put their questions into AI? And
Mm-hmm.
like, will tools like these be something that, that people like they know about and they want to use? But how do you get from I see this to this is the intervention? And so her part of the project is talking about OTs being involved in perinatal areas,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not right now, but we have all these qualifications and all this expertise and all of this training that can be applied here. It just hasn't been applied. And maybe now AI will actually facilitate that, because it's like, hey, have you heard that OTs, blah, blah, blah? Or will it try and take the place of? It's very weird.
Questionable.
Questionable.
Questionable. Big old question mark. I don't know.
know.
I wish I did, but I wish we all did. So
yeah. Hey, it's Ashley. When I started my business, my first business, it felt like I had two options: figure it out on my own or pay a high ticket price for a coach, and there was nothing in between. I was a beginner trying to make smart decisions without burning myself out or my savings, so I built what I wish had existed. This course is 6 clear, practical modules that take you from first decisions to launch and beyond. No fluff, just guidance, structure, and support. And no how bad do you want it, or we all have the same 24 hours in the day guilt trips. I created it to help women build lives and businesses on their own terms, not just to sell a course. Listeners can take 20% off with the code NURTURED20. For more information, go to andbothpodcast.com. So when you have somebody come and see you that is specifically for coaching, not for therapy, because I hope that, that's not a tell us how therapy works moment. But how do they delineate between I'm coming to see you for services and I'm coming to see you for coaching? What is the difference there?
So they don't get to, somebody can call me and say, hey, I want to do coaching. Great, that's fine. Let's talk. Because not everybody is going to be a coaching client. And people who are appropriate for coaching are individuals who have done work. There is emotional intelligence there. There is awareness. There's a few factors. They all don't need to be met, but collectively it needs to make sense. The way that I approach it is, am I going to cause harm by doing some coaching here? Or does this client have like some underneath stuff that needs to really be like dug a lot deeper than what we're going to do in coaching? So there's I guess we can call it like an assessment piece to it, and really helping the clients understand when I do give a recommendation, hey, I think you'll be a good client for coaching or therapy. And it's possible, obviously those two can coexist together from me, but being able to help them understand why therapy is being recommended. And especially if, I had one client call me, she wanted to be in the coaching program, this 12-week program that I have, and she was having panic attacks. And there was no way that ethically I felt like, yeah, sure, come on into the coaching program. Let's ignore all the symptoms that you're having and let's focus on, the things that we're going to focus on in the coaching, the 12-week program that I have, which is called Rewrite Before You Repeat. So that's basically how I handle it. So it's basically, you can call me for coaching, but if you're not, if it's not appropriate in the time, you're going to be referred to clinical services instead. And then in the future, you get to a place that symptoms are manageable and we feel good about it, you can move over to the coaching side if that's something that they want.
I like that, because then you don't have, people that are asking for help or they're trying to find help aren't like, I'm going to go find a coach who can coach me out of this. Like you actually need something more. You need something that requires more training, more tact, more everything to address that, to get you to a place where you're kind of like on the other side of the iceberg, not the in the water side. You're on the part that's sticking out the top.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can't, again, if we don't work on the symptoms, they're going to seep through. They're going to, it's going to show up, and it definitely is going to be counterproductive. I'm not saying it won't work, but it defeats the purpose of the work that I'm doing. So it can be a choice in terms of they're calling me for this, but after we have a conversation, it's like, hey, actually, this is my recommendation, and explain why and what they're going to get out of it versus doing the other option that they wanted.
Yeah. That, I really like that, because I feel like when people use the word coaching, like sometimes it's really hard for people to understand like what the background is of the person who's offering that. And then that also protects you on your own clinical side, your licensing all of that piece. I think that's really important. I wrote a piece, this was a long time ago, about like coaching and clinician is very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate that you call it out like right from the beginning, because otherwise, if someone is having panic attacks and they're like, I've had this coach for 3 years and like things aren't happening, you're like,
No, scary.
maybe this ain't it. Like,
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think there's also in our space being a clinician and introducing coaching to your practice, your firm, and being able to do both, separate things.
yeah.
It's definitely some therapists and some individuals, I think from probably the generation before us, right? It's like, yeah, they struggle with that, understanding how can you be a coach and a therapist
Mm-hmm.
and really kind of just not understanding it and really kind of uh, just not being okay with it. Because I've
Mm-hmm.
dealt with that. I've dealt with conversations that I've been in, like, well, therapists can't be coaches. And I was kind of caught off guard because I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that from you, but okay. And just having to like learn how to express that they can be, the
Mm-hmm.
same person can do both. Now, mixing them and doing both, definitely not ethically, not okay. Obviously, motivational interviewing is a clinical skill, but coaching and therapy don't go, you can't intertwine them. They're two different services.
Yeah. And I feel like the reality of this is again another AI piece. The reality of it is that when you have AI writing the copy for your website and you have AI writing this, like if you're a person who is a non-clinician, it does a really good job of using clinical language.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sounds really impressive. So I don't think that there's any problem with the clinician can't be a coach. I think they're the big red flags that start waving that are like, the size of the ones they put up in the top of tall buildings are coaches cannot be clinicians,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a dangerous place to be. Like in
Mm-hmm.
exactly the anxiety piece and stuff like that, is that there are skills and it's easy to take the language but not understand the
What's
expertise
happening?
behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it's definitely that's definitely a tricky piece. It's knowing when to stand right by your client and know that, well, this is way outside of my scope of practice. Like, I can't do this coaching, whatever it is that you're doing, effectively, because there's something coming up more than what I can handle here, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
And and I think coaching has gotten a bad rep with, you know, I feel like when I first kind of started introducing the idea, I even had mixed feelings about it because I had personal judgments towards it years ago. And those were surfacing. And I needed to like sort those out before I like truly embarked on this journey. And I did. I had a business coach, I had a mentor. So it's being able to really sort that out so that I understood it so that I can truly stand in my power and deliver the services that I am delivering.
Hmm. So I do some stuff I call it consulting because I have such a problem with the word coaching.
You're not all, I'm with you. Go ahead.
It's just like the word comes out and I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay. And so I do consulting and I think about it. For me, the delineation is like, when I'm talking to you, am I using my regular voice or am I using my therapist voice?
Mm-hmm.
And you know that feeling, right? It's like someone asks you a question, and you're like, okay, now we have to like pull out the filing cabinet of knowledge and practice and information. And it's like, we have to speak from that place
Mm-hmm.
versus I'm here to help you and I want to help you do all that stuff. And we're going to get to a point and that's it. Because if you want me to pull out the filing cabinet and the therapist voice,
Sure.
that's a different place to be. Because
Mm-hmm.
then I'm speaking from a place of like, this is my license. I
Mm-hmm.
understand what it took to get here and the training and the knowledge that I have behind it. But I'm happy to help you out over here. I can help you out over here. It's more like formal, like friend. This is the piece. Let's talk about this in that way
Mm-hmm.
versus like now I'm putting my dance goes on. Now I'm like getting back
Yeah.
into the like stand up a little straighter. And you're like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, the whole persona kind of changed. That I love that. I love that analogy. Really, it truly like paints the picture beautifully. I love that.
yeah, it's so funny. And like, I don't know. I mean, I just forever thought like when you have, when you have a student come in and you're on the floor and, you're talking to them at the nurse's station and yada, yada, yada. And then you walk in the room and you're like, okay, therapist now. And then you leave the
Hmm.
room and you're like, so let's
Yeah.
have a little debrief about that. And they're like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's like a switch of a personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Oh, I get
Yeah.
that. Yeah. It's a skill. It's a skill set, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I have experienced that. Like I'm a totally, working in treatment, substance use, and mental health, dealing with interns coming in from all different types of schools, therapists, and seeing me with a client and seeing me either in supervision or just like us kind of, you know, in the conference room having lunch. uh, It's like, how do you do that? And it's like boundaries. It's a
Mm-hmm.
skill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. When you start asking me where I live, it's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, yeah. So knowing your audience for sure.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, in all of this, right? So like you're seeing clients still,
Mhm.
right? You
Yeah.
have this growing practice still, coaching situation.
Mhm.
And then you have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah.
How does that work? And how do you show up in the middle of all of this?
I wish there was like a straightforward answer. Somebody asked me that yesterday, like, how do you do it? Like, you always look so well put together. And I'm like, that's an illusion, first of all. And every day looks different. Honestly, I don't know. It's a lot. It is. It's not easy. It's definitely I struggle. I mean, I'm solo parenting this week. My husband travels for work and it's just me running a business, trying to make these meetings, having to move things up. I had an 8 o'clock appointment yesterday with a student, praying that my kids went to bed on time. And I left my 4-year-old's room with 4 minutes to spare to make tea, like
Mhm.
rushing over to my computer to meet with my student. And thankfully, obviously, I'm transparent with the student. Like they know, like if I'm running 15 minutes late, I'll text them. But I don't know how I do it. I think it's having systems in place, honestly, being rich, like having a ritual in terms of like, these are the things that I follow and some consistency in my life. Bedtime is consistent, dinner is consistent. Those things I think hold me, give me some stability and sanity. But yeah, I don't do it. There's something always falling, nothing gets my 100%.
Mhm. I think this is the greatest miss for so much of what we do when we talk about motherhood and we talk about entrepreneurship and all that stuff is I have never, I mean, in all the episodes that I've recorded of this, and people I have talked to and met with and conferences and all that stuff, I have never met someone who's like, you know what? I am killing it. I am absolutely killing it.
Oh, I wish I could say that.
Right? Like me, myself, and I, we are just out here home run after home run,
Oh,
walking it off.
thank God for some good concealer and bronzer because this does not look like this. Yeah, exhaustion for sure. I mean, I got like 4 hours of sleep last night. I was ruminating. I went to bed at 12 because I got stuck in a bubble of working after my 8 o'clock. Then I lay in bed. I'm constant like ideas run. I ended up going to bed at 2, woke up at 6,
Hmm.
and I'm here
Yeah. Yeah.
tired.
Do you do the notepad on the nightstand? That's been my saving grace.
So I used to do a notepad because I'm a big pen and paper girl. Like till recently, and I get, kind of judged for that. I had a paper planner. Like I love my highlighting, my color coordinating, but I have shifted over to a tablet and my phone. But I do my phone sometimes. I'll take out my phone. It's right on my nightstand. I have like the stand that stands up. So I'll take it and go into my notepad and start like writing, typing if I have the energy, or just like press a little mic phone and dictate so that I can remember what the
Yeah.
heck I was thinking about.
Yeah. I think that piece is really hard. I think the idea is like there's so much of the messaging around motherhood and the social media piece of it and all that is that like in order to be successful at entrepreneurship, career, parenting, blah blah blah, we all have to do it s- seamlessly
Mm,
or we have to do it so that it appears to look seamless.
Yeah.
And like, no one is. And the people who are lying to you about who's helping them do that.
Yeah.
Straight up, just lying.
Oh, I'm with you. I was on a podcast almost a month ago now, and we're kind of similar conversation, and I kind of brought up how the women who are, portraying themselves to have it all together, it's great. Like I'm really happy for them. Like I really am, genuinely, if they're happy. But I think it's a crock of shit. I
Yeah.
think it's BS, honestly. Like there's something going on, or you have a lot of help. Because I'm sorry, how did you find the cure for the chemical shifts that
Yeah.
are happening in our brain? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's this like new level of unattainability for people where if you're someone who's just trying to make a better life for yourself, you're left to feel like garbage.
Mhm.
It's like, what are we doing? Why aren't we helping people out? Why aren't we
Yeah.
like calling a spade a spade? Or also like there's no prize. Again, maybe this is another like let's drag a few soapboxes out in this conversation, but there's no prize at the end of the day for doing
Mm-mm.
it all and doing it all perfectly. Like I think this is the biggest crock, one of the biggest crocks of motherhood is like at some point in life there's gonna be a medal ceremony and someone will be the valedictorian of motherhood. Like it's not happening.
No, it's not. It's not. And the internal battle that these moms are having, it makes me sad because they're not getting a medal. It's an internal battle that performance has been the way that they get validation, that they get, attention, whatever it is, whatever their story adds up to be. But it's all a performative thing. And, big on social media, I tell moms, myself, I mute accounts that if I'm having a reaction to somebody's account, and I find myself judging or saying some things that are like outlandish that I'm having a reaction to, I am muting you. Like I just am.
Yeah. I like to imagine what it would be like. So, you watch a video of like someone in the grocery store, right? Or someone that's like doing something in a public space and you're like, "Oh, wow. That like way to go," kind of thing. Like, "Great job." And now I just laugh to myself because I'm like, what if you're the person that's like the next aisle over in like the produce section and you're watching someone film this and then like they film it and they put their phone away and they go back to their grocery shopping. It's like, what is happening in this world? Like the internet is right there and
Yeah.
that person's going to go stand in line like everybody else and pay for their
Mhm.
groceries.
Mhm.
It's a weird space. The world is a weird place. And then they're like, I think I'm having a bad day. AI is like, no, you're wonderful. Perfect. Here you go.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I've made a decision on my own in 6 months. Perfect.
Yeah. It's a lot to take in nowadays. Like, I mean, social media was its own thing. Now adding AI into the mix the last, it's been 5 years, I feel like at this point, a little more
Yeah.
than that. It's the individuality of an individual. Like we are like lacking that. Like we are
Hmm.
starting to like morph into whatever AI tells us we are or how we're doing is what we're going to feel, and that's scary. And it kind of goes back again to like the emotional intelligence. Like how are we going to cultivate that in our environment? Like, how are we teaching our kids that if like there's a heavy dependency on this robot AI, social media telling us what we're feeling or validating us for something that maybe we do need some professional help with?
Hmm. Yeah. 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 I think our generation is a little bit on the struggle bus because it is you're lost between what you were supposed to do to be good
Hmm.
when we were growing up and what you now have to do in order to be doing well. It's just and then there's so much pressure. Like there's who is it? Jennifer Brahaney Wallace wrote the book Never Enough
Mm.
about this idea that like you are the sum of your medals and your accolades and all that stuff and how really lost the plot on that. And I think that that's part of why I started this is that there's so many people out there who are building and doing very cool things. And there's so many people out there who have these wonderful stories, but they're only exposed to the people who are willing to pull out their phone and film themselves buying,
Mm.
bananas in the grocery store. And that's just
Mm.
doesn't really represent what life is about. That really doesn't represent the 99% of people who are going through their life and trying to say, Here's what I love to do, and here's what I'm passionate about. I am also passionate about raising these humans and doing all of these things. And I want to take care of myself in the midst of all of this, but I don't know where to go because everyone's just telling me that I'm supposed to lose the baby weight in 6 minutes and
Hmm.
I'm supposed to get up at 5 and drink hot water and journal and be grateful and then pack lunch. I watched a video of this woman. Yeah, I watch all these videos and I laugh at them. I don't take them seriously, but I watched a video of a woman who got up and cooked a baby roast chicken for her kid to take for lunch with mashed potatoes. And she was up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm
Good
like,
for her.
you know what? I hope to God this is fake because what do you do on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Your kids, you have to go to school. Where I live, you have to go to school 180 days a year. That's
Hmm.
179 more days that you got to live up to that one moment.
That's standard. Yeah.
Drop that bar and kick it down the road.
Yeah. It's again, it's these standards that we play. And listen, and that might be something that brings her joy, and that's
Mhm.
fine. But, I wonder what the rest of her life looks like. There has to be some, I hope it, I mean, you don't have to cook my kids in the beginning, I used to kind of feel bad about this. So I get it. My son, he's a picky eater, my 4-year-old, and he loves pasta and chicken. And or sometimes he would just eat the pasta and there's no protein in that. So I'm like, oh my God, my kid's not getting protein. He doesn't eat veggies. But now I buy protein pasta. I try to figure out how can this kid get his protein in because he's not eating what he should be eating. My kids get protein pasta and chicken every day for lunch on repeat,
Yeah. Yeah.
on repeat. And they eat it all. And they're not sick and tired of it. And, we have different stuff they eat, what we eat, but lunch, pasta and chicken.
I wish that I had kept track, but I also am glad that I haven't of how many peanut butter and Nutella sandwiches I've made in my
Yeah.
lifetime.
And sometimes I change it up. I'll add a peanut, if I feel spicy and, I'm gonna pull out the knife. Let's make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Trust me, I'll throw it in there. But it's spur of the moment. I don't have the
Mhm.
brain capacity to think about well, what am I going to cook my son's for lunch tomorrow? I barely
Mhm.
know what I'm going to eat tomorrow for lunch.
There was an interview done years ago with, I think it was Barack Obama, and they were talking about how he makes so many decisions. He was saying he makes so many decisions in a day that the mental fatigue of, you have a limited number of decisions that you can make. And that one of the things of what do you wear when you get dressed in the morning is this is why you wear one outfit over and over again, right? Especially as a mom and whatever that outfit is. I'm not here for your yoga pants and I'm not here for your hard pants and all of this other stuff. I'm just saying that you find an outfit that's comfortable, that works, and then
Mm-hmm.
you buy it in 3 colors and wear it over and over again. But he was
Mm-hmm.
saying that because he has to make so many decisions when he was in office, that he has a blue outfit and a black outfit or a brown outfit, whatever it is. He's got 2 different colors. And he gets up in the morning and that's it. That's his outfit. And I think but no one says anything. No one's like, "Oh, well, your style should improve. Oh, blah blah blah." They're like, "Oh, well, this guy is the leader of the free world, so he can make that decision." Whereas women, it's like, "Well, you're supposed to have your hair done. You're supposed to look put together. You're supposed to, all this stuff." And you're like, "Do you know how many decisions I make before 8 a.m.?"
Yeah. Seriously.
Blue suit,
Yeah. Just
pasta
go with
and
it.
noodles. This is
Pasta
what
and
we're doing.
noodles. That's
Yeah,
it.
I fully
That's
support
it.
it.
Yeah. Pasta
I
and
fully
noodles.
support it.
And I have zero cares in the world. Again, in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, my mom would judge me. That's all. He's eating that again. And you like, oh yeah. And then I'll try to make it, now after my second one, I'm like, pasta and noodles for
Mhm,
everybody.
mhm. Yeah, because the most important part of that sentence isn't he's eating again, it's he's eating.
He's eating.
That's
Yeah,
the whole point. They're
exactly.
plants. Children are
Yeah,
plants. You feed them, you water them, you put them in the sun, and they grow. That's
that's it.
but they also have feelings and all of these
Yeah,
other pieces that make us humans and not
yeah,
cells of
yeah.
sunflowers. But that's the point, right? Is he's eating.
Hmm.
Check the box. It doesn't need to be pasta blah blah
Extravagant.
blah.
Yeah,
No, kids don't like that
yeah.
stuff.
They don't even notice it. I mean, who knows?
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah. So you said this baby business. what is the toddler version that you want for this? What is the elementary school? Like, what direction do you want to go and grow in for this?
So I want to eventually make this out to be a service. So part of my services, when a mom gives birth, I do a home visit. We do home visits. I'm not for home visits with different other populations, but for the mom population, definitely, I feel like it's a very intimate time. My goals for the future are to make Zenful Mama, have a space and have other therapists who are there, and really have a good separation between the coaching world and the therapy world, and not just me. And being able to also have other services inside of Zenful Mamas that, it's a tribe. It takes a tribe, it takes a village.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be surrounded by a lot of strong women who have kids who are, I'm a part of a mothers in business group. So I see what this all looks like, and making a hub for moms. I think there's a lot of hubs for like the mom's body, massage, acupuncture, like there's hubs for that. I want to make a hub for the mom's mental health.
I love that. I love that being the core, and that being because I think like what you said in the beginning, right, is matrescence is something that people are like, well, how do you even spell that? And you're like, this has been
How do you
around for a
say
very
that?
long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having a space where it's not just like, you're not teaching vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
you're supporting people.
Yeah. And their nervous system. Like there's a lot you can do outside of talk therapy, outside of the coaching world. Like there's, breath work, there's Reiki, there's, I'm a big, I preach about these things. I'm a Reiki master. I am getting certified in breath work. So it's like, I believe in these things because I've also done them myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I practice these things, and I have seen relief. I have seen such a shift in like my mental space, my attitude, I'm able to come out of funks a little bit quicker than usual. Funks still happen. It's not like it's a
Mm-hmm.
cure all, but it's definitely something that it helps.
Yeah. I love that. Well, will you let everyone know where they can find you? And we'll put all the links and stuff in the show notes, but let people know where they can find you, please.
Yeah. So www.zenfulmamas.com. And I'm on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram. My handle is zenful_mamas. Yeah. And that's basically, I have workshops coming up. I have a Zenful Mamas inner circle, which basically, removes the pressure of like, oh my God, I need to start therapy. Oh my God, I need to start coaching. It's low commitment to 45-minute groups a month based on nervous system regulation. And one of the experiences is like a journal experience, and really helping moms sit in that and kind of start practicing that.
Yeah.
Again, that was formed because there was a lot of resistance in the beginning with some moms. Majority of my moms that I now work with that have came back to me after they have shared, hey, I'll come see you when I need you, which is fine. But I figured I would make a low commitment community that can start introducing the idea of what this all can look like, so it can start opening up some doors. So that's all on the website.
That's awesome. I love the idea of having multiple places to come in, because then you're really meeting people where they're at, that's how it works, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a great conversation.